Hi, I'm Rob Lord, real estate broker here in the Florida Panhandle, and this is your real estate market update for 30A. Now, if you don't already know me, I'll tell you briefly that my job is to give you an unfiltered opinion of what the market is actually doing here based on facts, based on analytics, not based on what the typical realtor spiel is of it's always time to buy, it's always time to sell. You've heard that before. We're gonna jump right into the numbers, and we're not gonna look at all these specific small towns along the coastline, but rather what we're gonna do is look at short-term rental condos and houses and not the crazy $25 million outliers on the beach that throw the data off. We'll also take a quick look at rental restricted houses and condos and just see how that market's doing as well. Now for single family short-term rental homes on the east side of 30A, that's watercolor all the way down to Inlet Beach, that was absolutely our strongest market last year, with homes selling for about 100% of list. This year, homes are selling for about 5% less than list. Interestingly, days on market is up about 35 or 40% year over year. 30A West, short-term rental homes, Dune Allen all the way to Grayton Beach, those are sitting at about 115 days on market, same as 30A East. If you know the market, you know those homes sell for less per square foot. But for both of those markets, price per square foot is not coming down year over year. In fact, it's even higher average price per square foot in 30A East. Before I explain that phenomena, let me just touch on the rental restricted communities. We have so many people moving here from the broken states that primary market, Watersound Origins mostly, that is selling for 97% of list. So that's beating the rest of 30A slightly. So we obviously have some conflicting data as days on market go up. Tons of listings are going expired right now, and that does not get factored into the days on market data because there is no days on market as it doesn't sell. We've got tons of inventory that's going expired right now. Not quite as dramatic as it sounds because now is the time of year where people are looking forward to having a nice solid investment as they're gonna be rented out solidly, hopefully for June and July. The owners here are people who are not leveraging financing for these properties. They're paid for almost always free and clear. I mean, 90% plus of the time, absentee owners are using these properties as a place to park money, diversify a portfolio, and they're really focused on appreciation as much as they are short-term rental income. Over the last 4 or 5 years, a lot of these buyers, again, higher net worth people here in the Southeast United States who wanted to protect their money, their wealth from inflation. And to really know this market, you really need to understand that. And I can tell you that when it comes to business, these guys are not used to losing. So even though days on market's extending, properties are going expired, the main reason prices aren't coming down is because these folks are not distressed. And that's not just speculation. I did a very deep dive on how heavily financed or leveraged the property is down here that's absentee owned. Specifically, I looked at property that has a market value of over $2 million, that has less than $1 million of equity, that has, if it has a mortgage, it has a 4% plus interest rate. So in my mind, those are properties that could potentially maybe be distressed because short-term rental income is not what it was promised to be coming out of 2021. And so cash flow is dramatically less than they were hoping. They've got this big giant mortgage, they paid top dollar. So we've got a lot of investors. I'm gonna talk about the buyer profile here in just a minute, but part of them are these investors that are waiting on the sidelines for all those distressed properties to come to market. And here's the data. Houses that meet those 3 criteria I just said between Inlet Beach and the bridge behind me here in Destin, Florida, there is 130 individuals. Again, I'll say it one more time. Less than $1 million of equity, market value over $2 million with more than 4% interest. 130 individuals, in my opinion, and probably yours once you wrap your mind around that, is not enough to change the market. If you're watching this and you're an owner here, you're probably savvy, you're probably a very astute business person, and you probably don't have any financing in your property. Or if you do, you did something really savvy where you refinanced 3 years ago or 2.5 years ago at 2.7%. just because you can get 5.5% with a CD right now. So that covers our stubborn, wise, savvy owners and sellers. Now let's talk about who the buyers are. So you've got the same type people who are the investors waiting on the sidelines. These guys specifically talk about a 10% cap rate, and they're waiting and waiting and waiting until they get that. And they're having all these wild fantasies about these distressed sales that are about to happen. The only time I actually see this unicorn, 10% cap rate dream happening for investors, but that investor gets the house under contract, and it happens to be one of those rare sellers that actually is distressed, for some other personal reason aside from their investment down here not working out, but that seller is distressed for other reasons. They get the property under contract and then they discover that the property has, you know, some crazy mold issue or moisture issue or needs all new windows and a new roof, whatever. Occasionally those properties can be negotiated down once under contract for, you know, a 20-25% discount. Those are very rare. If you're an investor, I hope you're not counting on that, but that's the only way I see that ever happening. So we've got the investors waiting on the sideline, but the other group of buyers here, which again is contributing to keeping sales price high, in some markets, price per square foot even going up, is people who want to be down here for emotional reasons, and I am guilty as charged. Right now we're paying about $1 a square foot in monthly HOA dues. Horrible financial decision, but it's like having a boat. It's because I want to wake up to that view. So I'm not making fun of people when I say they're buying emotionally. They're buying because they want to be down here. Typically the profile for that buyer, especially the absentee buyers, are people who had some sort of windfall financially, a liquidation event, like they sold a company. A lot of times it's people that are kind of young empty nesters whose parents just passed away and they have a sizable inheritance. They've always dreamed of having a place on the beach and they're using it as a short-term rental, not because they know it's the best investment in the world, but because of pride of ownership. They're imagining that when they retire in 10 or 15 years, they're gonna live down here full time. And they really just wanna own property where there's clear water and white sand and they've had tons of great memories. Now, the last thing I wanna touch on is because these buyers who are buying are the emotional buyers that are not looking for a windfall investment financially, there is a very specific type of property they are looking for. And if you remember nothing else from this video, I want you to remember this one specific thing. These buyers do not want a project. When I say what the emotional high-end buyers are looking for, listen to the detail of exactly what I'm saying, because a lot of owners down here hear what they want to hear. So listen carefully if you're thinking about selling. The property needs to be turnkey. It needs to be updated and it needs to be in amazing condition. So a lot of times owners will have a property where everything works. The appliances work, it just passed a 4-point inspection, the garage door opener works, and they say, "Great news, Rob, my property's turnkey." That's not really what I mean. I mean it's turnkey like there is no work that can possibly be done there. For example, in the hotel business, one of the rules that the great hotels live by is when a customer walks into a room, they should feel like they're the first person using that room. When I say updated, I mean truly updated, where the house in pictures looks like a new model house. Picture your oversized kitchen island with the quartz waterfall edge and the counter height stools inlaid inside of it. A frameless steam shower, built-in bunk beds in great condition. That's what I mean by updated, turnkey, and great condition. Literally perfect and beautiful. Now that is a very, very wise investment, but you've got to get the property in that condition to appeal to those emotional buyers who are willing to pay top dollar. If you're a short-term rental owner, make sure you watch out for my next video. I am surveying a bunch of short-term rental management companies, and we're gonna be talking about the most proven bells and whistles and things you can add to your short-term rental that have the most proven return on investment. That's it for this time. I'll see you in the next video.